Okay, so that was a great little exercise on how to get some of these little pieces into the puzzle. So let's switch gears for a second. Is there any other questions on products coming into the system? How you kind of load that. Once it's loaded in, it's fast. It's fast, fast, fast. When you first load it, you do have to take a little side step to kind of preload it. But once it's in, you should be able to fly. Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing that's kind of cool if you happen to be a barcode reader. Okay, so say for instance, barcodes are pretty cool. Basically, what they do is wherever your cursor is typing, if you scan a barcode, what it does is it physically takes that number that's in the barcode, it translates it into physical English, and hits enter. So if I were to scan something and you had just barcoded all of these things of ice, which you may not want to. That's such a simple one. I would just keep it as, like, have the person type in ICE or something like that, hit enter, and then it'll, oh yeah, they got 3 bags of that. But if you wanted to and I wanted to barcode it, it's technically the exact same thing as if I were able to speed type ICE or whatever the 12-digit number is, and then it's the same as typing it and hitting enter. As long as that cursor's in the right spot, you can actually load that barcode in anywhere, which is very handy if you're actually in a cart. Like, let's just for fun, we're just going to add some just for fun. We're just going to say, hey, 4 bags of ice. And so right here, basically say that this is ready. If the cursor's blinking right here and I have a barcode scanner, I'm going to go beep. Whatever the barcode scanner was, it instantly would be able to just grab that. And it's the same as having a super fast typist. So instead of actually going plunk, 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 it literally goes out. The search on the parts right here from the view cart page, it automatically does 4 things. I'm just going to show you real quick which pieces of the puzzle it actually searches. I'm actually going to just go into the actual ice piece. So here's the pieces that it searches. It searches this, your part ID number. It searches the part number. It searches the description, and it searches the barcode field, all from one little spot. And so anything that's in there, it'll automatically do that type of deal from in there. So right here, just for instance, see how it says bag of ice? Say I was back at my cart, and I was right here, and I type in bag. So this is going to actually hit the description. Oh, it actually found bag as far as it being under verbiage, okay? But just so you know, it's very, very flexible. Once you learn how to use the flexibility of that, that's huge because it really speeds up how fast you can get to your pieces. Before we go too far, I would like to, just for fun, kind of go in and show you a piece of the puzzle that we haven't even really played with, either recipes, advanced add to cart, or my cart favorites. Those are all different ways of loading the shopping cart that are even above and beyond barcode reading and simple searches and stuff like that. Like there's a ton of things that are pretty fast and furious. So.
And we don't have any responses yet, so you can probably just
no problem.
Go ahead and do what you want.
Awesome. Basically, we're here at the map, and as part of the shopping cart and as part of my stuff, there's actually ways. Here's a recipe and build, but basically, where would you guys like to go? Let's deal with kind of like loading this cart for a second. But I would like to touch on these pieces. My cart favorites, which are custom buttons that you get to create. Recipe and build, which is where you're adding multiple pieces, which I can see you using that a ton. And then also things called advanced add to cart, which basically says, you saw how like we pull up ice and I'd go 4, enter, like just really fast. If I want any sort of control over that, I want to use the advanced add to cart. Because all of a sudden I could be like, I want to do this, and I want to change the markup, and I want...
Could we somehow combine them all? Like, could we do a recipe build with maybe an item for mom, and then make it into a my cart favorite button?
Absolutely,
and then,
absolutely.
See, so I'm wondering, like, this is actually a recipe. But in other words, you'd make a button for something like that. So instead of having to put each one in separately, you'd just hit that, right?
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're talking about.
That is exactly what we were talking about. Do you want to see us kind of walk through this?
Sure.
Okay. What I'm going to do, just so that we can kind of catch some interaction even on the audio, is basically I'm going to have you tell me what we're going to call it,
Okay.
which would be the kitty call, and then we're basically going to kind of start loading it. We don't have these pieces, but that's great. We're going to load it from the get-go. We're going to create it, and then you should be able to
Now I can just create something so it's there all the time.
roughly pop it through. So we're just kind of
Okay.
just do some stuff, but.
Okay. So.
So hang on, the first thing that I see is I know that our park category isn't really going to be there, so I'd probably like to go to the park category first and add that in. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. And while I'm doing that, why don't you just speak into the mic real quick, just so that we can kind of know. Okay, we're going to make a recipe for this thing.
Okay, we're going to make a recipe. What this is herbal medicine, and it's a glycerin-based extract for kids, the glycerin being tasting better. And so basically what it's called is Kitty Call, and basically what it is a calcium supplement for children. Okay? And so it has horsetail grass, oat straw, comfrey root, and lobelia.
Okay, awesome. And so the reason I said that I know that I don't have these pieces loaded in there yet, so we're going to have to kind of go through the whole process, but eventually where we're headed is to create a recipe so we can take these raw products that we're getting from any sort of vendor, we're going to combine them into something, and then we're going to basically, you're manufacturing this new little medicine right here.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is kind of entering into the mini manufacturing, and then once we finally sell it, we should be able to sell it really, really
Because all we'll sell it for is Kitty Call, and it will know that it's taking out it's taking out this much of this and this much of this.
Okay, so
is that what it is?
So here's what happens, and this is a great question. What you have right there is you have the ingredients for what needs to go in your recipe, right?
Uh-huh.
So technically, in order to make it, you have two choices when you get to recipes. Is it a build and sell, which is just in time, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just in time, and it just hits the invoice. Or are we going to build and hold? So I'm going to actually make a bunch of this stuff up, and then I'm going to sell it later on.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to know, because if you're doing a build and hold, you technically play on the PO side, because that's incoming items. And if you're doing build and sell, it's just on the outgoing. It's just in time. It's
It's
kits.
just
Like a Big Mac.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
it together right then.
Boom, 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 boom.
And it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
But this you make beforehand and you have in your inventory.
Correct. So if you're planning on saying this is going to hit my inventory as Kid E-Call, that's the name of it, then you need to do a build. Okay? Like basically an internal build, or the build and hold is what we technically call that.
And do
recipe.
they both go into? Oh, they're both either one goes into that block.
Correct, correct.
So if it's a recipe, that's the make it just in time, and the build is the build and hold in the inventory.
Okay, correct. And so what you're going to want to do is, if you're really going to do recipes, you're going to want to go to the recipe homepage. You're then going to want to hit on the help file for this, and it's going to kind of talk you through the different little pieces of what's what. It's really simple to read, but it kind of like helps orient you to the product, okay? So then basically, we technically don't even have these pieces yet. So instead of creating a recipe and creating pieces on the fly, we're going to backtrack, and we're going to say, let's load these raw goods in, and then we'll come create a recipe. Otherwise, it's too complicated. It doesn't know how to add it on the fly while you're trying to add it to a recipe.
Right.
So we're going to basically load the system. So the first place that I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and I'm going to just check my part categories, because we're going to have some medicine type stuff here, and we don't have that in my part categories right now.
Okay.
So let's go here, and because I have the admin feature, I can edit my product categories. Okay? So currently I do have bottles, and I have chemicals.
And I will need bottles. Let's put herbs though.
Okay, great. So you just kind of check to make sure it's not there. And even if you did, if you spelled it the exact same as something else, it would be like, hey, you've already got that one. So it basically doesn't let you. Just for fun, I'm going to do that. Watch this. I know how to spell candy really well. Watch. I'll try to add candy again. Candy, add the category. It should give me an error message saying, I'm sorry, according to this, you already have one. So basically, we'll go ahead and put in herbs. Okay, herbs, add the category. So basically all we're doing here is just loading this so that when I actually go to make my parts, it'll physically show up, okay?
Mhm.
So now what we're going to do is, most likely, we are going to probably be running this under a PO. We can either type in new here and go, and then we'd have to select the vendor, or if you want to shortcut it, you can go vendor, and we're going to probably run it under ourselves, okay? So we're going to go ourselves, create the PO, okay? I'm going to say, yes, I do have this as Basic Live, and I'm going to put set up for basic herbs. We come down, I'm not going to put a PO amount, and I'm going to say, yes, I do have them. So at this point, what is the first herb that we are adding?
Horsetail grass.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, just to keep it simple, HORS, okay, see if anything comes up. I didn't even find anything remote like that. So I'm going to say add the product, and basically, how many are we getting originally? So we have one of two things we can do here. One, we're starting from ground zero. Nothing's loaded into the system. We have no idea how much we have. Okay, so what I would do technically is probably do this. I need some placeholders. Zero quantity. Fill out the thing as if it's a placeholder, and then be like, okay, let's make our first order now. But like, it depends on what you're if you really have something in front of you, like, oh my goodness, I got my first order in, and I have X number of pounds of this or whatever, you would need to know that. And so we technically were missing a piece on your exact thing. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, the more you know, the more you can make it follow along with that. If you're faking it, you better fake it. Okay? If that makes sense. So right now, because we're faking it, I'm just going to say zeros, and we'll come back and we'll make a new PO where we physically have real quantities of what we're going to do. Okay? Unless you wanted to, because we can put a quantity in right here.
I'll put a pound.
Okay? So are you selling this by pound, ounces? How are
Well, these are all going to come out in ounces, so then would you
okay?
then put it in as
So
ounces?
very important, because, and especially this type of thing where you have all these pieces and you're potentially going to be mixing it out here and doing this and this, what is your least common or your most common denominator?
Ounces.
Ounces, perfect. So how many ounces did we get?
8.
So that's a half pound, right? So 8 ounces.
I think maybe you just want to make it and have placeholders, like
Okay,
you said. And
just
then you
go
can
ahead
go
and
back
do
and
placeholders.
just
Yeah,
add all you
that's
want.
fine.
Yeah, let's just go
Okay,
placeholders.
perfect, no problem. Placeholders. We're going to go 0 right now. Now we're going to call it what? Horse?
Horsetail is one word, and then another word, grass.
Okay, and this is going to be a normal. We're going to monitor the quantities in and out.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to say this is an herb. So let me scroll down here. And if I wanted to, I could put per ounce or whatever. There's actually a unit of measurement a little bit lower.
Okay.
Okay, so do we know a cost on this, like what it is per ounce?
Let's just make it up.
Okay.
Let's say 50 cents an ounce.
Okay, great. And do we have a specific sale price? Eventually we're getting back to ounces again, okay? So you have to think, okay, what do I want to do this? Okay, if it's $5 per pound, then how much is it per ounce? Like you're trying to kind of get it all into, so you're having
All the same.
the same things, okay? And then once you get it into the system, like the hard part is like figuring out like, okay, if I want to sell it for $5 a pound, but it, you know, whatever you need to do, you just need to get it apples to apples, because otherwise it gets it gets all messed up, okay?
Okay.
So-
So we'll do it 55 cents an ounce.
So the sale price, you're going to be barely clearing just a little bit.
Okay, we do 60 cents.
Okay, so watch this. This is just kind of interesting. You see right here how it doesn't have a whole lot of stuff calculating quite yet?
Uh-huh.
Watch this. If we actually said, we're going to just do it for 55 cents an ounce, and I want that to be a specific sale price, you're actually only doing a 1.1 markup,
Okay.
okay? Or a 9.9% profit margin. Even though you didn't, like, that's teeny. Yeah, you're going to kill yourself there, okay?
I'm going to be out of business.
Yeah,
really
real quick.
fast.
Yeah.
So watch this, okay? Just to kind of give you an idea, as soon as we leave that field, it'll recalculate. You're still only making 23% by going up 15 cents, which is a 1.3 markup. Okay.
Okay.
And if you wanted to, you see this little thing right here, this little calculator? if you really wanted to get detailed, you could come in here. Like this is totally on a sidetrack, but you could basically say, okay, I know that it's 50 cents. Okay, and what do I want to get? Like, do you have a certain profit margin? Do you have a certain percentage? Do you want to just play with numbers? This is just playing. This is a tool that exists inside of Adilas. Say you went like this. What happens if I actually sell this for $1? Where would I be at? You hit calculate. So basically it kind of comes back and says, hey, you're at a markup of 2 and a 50% profit margin, okay? So basically you can kind of start playing with the numbers. If you're like, oh, you know what, I actually like to do a 1.65 markup. What would that do? So once again, we're still just playing, but what happens is it does this thing that says, oh, it is a 1.65 markup, but you're only making 39%. Okay? So you can kind of like figure it out. Or if you're trying to make, you know what, I have to make 45% on this, otherwise I lose my shorts. Here's how you do it. You go like this. I know it's 50 cents, but I want to make 45%. What should I charge? Oh, I should charge 91 cents per, okay, in order to get a 45% markup, which is actually a 1.82 markup on that, in order to make that 45%. So this is a great tool to kind of like help you get in there and figure out like what's what, and like lots of people talk margins or percentages or points or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, I got to make 20 points on that, otherwise it's like, well, you can come in here and figure out exactly what 20 points is, rather than being like, I'll just take it times 1.2 and you're good, because that's actually incorrect. You're gonna lose your shorts if you do that.
Okay.
Anyway, just so you know, I would highly recommend that you be higher than 55 cents a piece. Okay, so in order to get back there, I'm going to use my super back button, add edit product.
Okay.
I'm back here in the horsetail grass, 50. How much would you like to sell it for?
I'll sell it for $1.
Okay, great. Okay, you're going to start covering yourself there, okay? That's great. Love to see it. Okay, so down here, this is kind of important. We said, hey, I want to use the sale price only, and we are going to flip this to ounces.
Oh, there's the ounces. Okay.
Okay? There's a ton of options here, okay? Tons and tons. And if you wanted to, you could even make your own. Like this one right here, this box of 12, I made that one myself. You can edit your own units of measurement, okay? There's some standard ones, and then you can edit your own. Like say if you wanted to sell gaggles or gahoogles or whatever, you know, like, it doesn't matter. Okay, so taxable, and then you could just kind of come down here and say add product, okay?
Okay.
So that's the horsetail one. We just pulled it in. Okay, what's the next one on there?
Oat straw.
I'm just going to check for oat. We don't have anything. And we'll just, is it 2 words?
2 words.
Oat straw, normal. We're going to say H for her. Let me do this real quick. I was thinking that there was only one H, but apparently there's more than one H. So, but I could have kept going H, 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 and it would have tabbed through that, but I didn't even know how many. I was expecting 1, and it went to more, and I was like, I better just look. Okay, so this one right here, what do we want to put here? Just oat straw?
Yeah.
Now, it might look like we're like duplicating things, but one's technically a part number, one's technically a description. So they are different, okay? Alrighty, let's go down here. How much do we have for a cost on this?
Let's do 30 cents.
Okay, and so I'm assuming we're still in ounces, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and how much would you like to sell this one for?
Let's sell this one for 60 cents.
Okay, great.
So what does that look like on our profit margin?
You should be at a 2, markup of 2 or a 50% margin.
Okay.
Okay, which is great. I'd highly encourage that, and we're going to go ounces. Ounces. Okay. Anything else that we need for this one?
I don't think so.
Okay. Add the product. So we're basically creating just these little placeholders right now. Okay. So we have 2 of them right now. We have horsetail, oat straw. Okay. What's the next one?
The next one is comfrey root.
C-U-M?
C-O-M.
C-O-M.
F-R-E-Y.
Okay.
Oh, yep, got to check first to see if we have it.
C-O-M-F.
R-E-Y.
Comfrey.
And then another word, root.
Okay. Comfrey root.
So now why do you always do an underscore on the product name? I see you do that all the time. Is there a reason for that?
Well, if you look right here, like in say a normal address, like I'm not trying to be really specific, but when you start getting into like web stuff,
They do
top
that.
underscore secret, add underscore edit underscore parts.
So
like,
it's just something they do a lot.
what it does is it allows you to space out words without actually physically putting in a space. Like sometimes spaces create problems, but it's only like in key points, like a product name, where you're going to be searching and tying it to other pieces, and that's why I do it. It's habit for me.
Okay.
It's habit for me. So we're going to come down here. Watch this. I'm going to hit tab, and I'm actually going to do the H until I get to herb this time. Okay. So right here, I'm just going to type in H. Perfect. Hit tab, and then I move to the next piece. And now I'm ready for my description. Comfrey root, and what's the cost on this? Once again, normally you would actually have this information in front of you, like you either bought it or you're looking at a catalog or whatever. So
Right.
well, we're just kind of faking it here. But
So
hopefully-
let's say 50 cents a can.
Okay,
We'll sell it
perfect.
for $1.
Okay, awesome. And we want to sell it for $1, and we want to say do the sale price, and we're going to change that to ounces as well, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We're going to say add product. Okay, what's the next one? So far we have 3 of them.
Right. The last one is lobelia.
And how do you spell that?
Lobelia.
L-O-B. Let's see if we have anything under that. Nope. L-O-B what?
Elia.
Okay, lobelia. And is there anything else?
Nope. That's just it.
Okay. So I'm going to go H. I'm assuming that that's also considered
An herb? Yeah.
Okay. And L-O-B-E-L-I-A. Lobelia. And what's the cost on this guy?
Let's say 25 cents, and we'll do it for 50 cents.
Okay, awesome.
So sale price calculated on the fly just does whatever markup or percentage.
Correct. And this markup is actually another corp-wide setting. And so if you don't like 0.187 and you're like, you know what, I always do 2.25 on anything.
On anything. You can just sit there, it'll just do it.
It does it. And what it does is according to the cost, it automatically adjusts that. So as the cost change, you're always at that specific markup above and beyond it. Whereas if I say, nope, I want to lock it into a fixed price, it looks a lot better on an invoice, the fixed price. However, if your costs are changing, you're technically either making or losing just a little bit more money, but it looks a lot nicer on the invoice. Depends on your, what do you want to do? So those are your options, if that makes sense. So we're going to basically, so here, 25.5, do it on the fly, sorry, fix it, and we're going to make this ounces as well.
Right.
Okay, perfect. So we're not going to do anything else, add the product.
Okay.
At this point, we now have a PO, and this doesn't even matter, but PO number 52 is holding 4 of our items, so that we can technically now go in and start building or quantifying or doing any of this type of stuff, okay? And these are under ounces. So then you would basically, at this point, ideally you would technically go load your real values and like how much do I really have in quantities, but we could also go over and actually make a, whatever we wanted to call it, the recipe.
The recipe.
Okay, so the other thing that I would recommend that we do is eventually we're going to probably need an outgoing product, okay, which is your kitty call. And this is actually going to be a medicine rather than an herb.
Right.
Correct. So we're right here on the same PO. Are you okay if we just add it right here?
Yes, and we also have to do vegetable glycerin because that's what it's
Okay,
base of it
okay,
is.
perfect. So right here, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go VEG. Don't have it? We'll just pop through this one pretty quick, okay?
Okay, vegetable glycerin.
VEG, how do you want me to spell this? Veg.
E-T-A-B-L.
Boy, you can tell I don't spell very well.
Glycerin, G-L-Y-C-E-R-I.
So it's vegetable oil, or what is it?
Glycerin, G-L-Y-C-E-R-I-N.
Which is essentially like an oil, yes.
Yeah, it is. It's a vegetable oil.
Okay, check my spelling right there.
It's C-E-R-I.
C-E-R-I-N.
So get rid of the S.
Yeah, C-E-R-I-N.
Boy.
And
You can
this
tell I
one,
am not the
this
medical
one would
person.
be in cups.
Okay, great. No problem. So we'll actually kind of come down there and do that. So we're going to basically say, now this glycerin, this is still an herb, or what would this be considered?
Why don't we just put it under basic items? It's
Okay.
not really.
Okay, perfect, perfect. That's fine. And we'll go ahead and put it in there. And what's the cost on it? If we were doing it per cup, then you need to just tell us what.
Okay, so let's say it's 75 cents per cup.
Okay.
And we'll say we're going to sell it for $1.50. I'm being really creative on my.
No, actually it's great. I hope you cover yourself, because if not, you can lose your shorts really
Okay.
quick. Okay. So let's see if we have cups in here. Cups.
There it is.
Okay. And we'll still make it taxable. That's fine. Like if you were to sell it raw or whatever, we'll say add the product. Okay. So the other one that we needed here was also the end-all, which is going to be a medicine, which is your kid call, right?
Right.
Don't have anything under that. And kid, was it?
It's a dash.
That's fine.
Then an E, then a dash, then CAL.
All lowercase or?
The C is the capital.
Okay, like kid call, like that?
One L.
One L.
Yeah, because it's for calcium.
Okay, okay, great, great. So product category, this is actually going to, let's see if we have medicine in here. I don't have an M. So what we can do right now is we can actually just put it under basic. We can come back and do that. I'll show you how to fix it, okay?
Okay.
That would be great.
You can even edit it right there, correct?
You can, but what it does is you'll
Have to retype all of that.
minor, like we have to redo this guy right here. Watch, I can even copy it. And we can actually say add a product category right here. And what do we need?
Medicine.
M-E-D-I-C-I-N-E?
Yeah, that's great.
I could misspell my own name. And so right here, I'm just going to kind of use my super back button and make sure that we're back to where we want to be. Bam, right here, okay? Kitty call. Now, basically what I have to do is I have to refresh this page because it won't be in here until I actually physically refresh it. Okay? So if I refresh it, now, actually I have it in memory. Paste. Come down here, and I should be able to go M, medicine, right there. Medicine, and then, okay, so this particular one, you might want to put some more, like this is great for, like this is your, what do you want it to look like on your invoice? You actually sell this thing.
Right, right. This is to help kids enhance their immune system.
I spell immune,
I-M-M-U-N-E.
Boy, don't make me spell. Terrible. Okay, so anyway, do you see the difference between that? Like that's what you want on the invoice, okay? So we're going to come down and we're going to actually say your cost right now, we don't really know. I'm going to leave it at 0, okay? And so basically, how much do you want to sell this? And what are we selling it? What's our common denominator on this guy? Probably ounces again, I imagine, unless you have. Or is it just a bottle? Or are you?
It would probably be a bottle. It would probably be a
size bottle.
Yeah, probably like a 4-ounce bottle.
Ounces.
Okay, so we're going to probably assume that it's per ounce. So what's the price per ounce? And then you can create the other pieces as far as, hey, this is the 4 ounce, this is the 5 ounce.
Okay, so we could do $4 per.
Yeah, $4.25 per ounce.
Yeah, $4.25 per ounce.
Okay.
But we could put a 0 there until we found out how much it was actually costing.
No
us,
problem.
and we could go
No
back
problem. No problem. Yep, absolutely. You are on it. So I'm going to actually just say, hey, go ahead and use the sale price at 0, 0. Okay. And we're actually going to switch this to ounces. You're on the target. Like you can totally switch around as many times as you need to. Okay.
Just to kind of see what.
And we're going to say add the product. Click. Okay. So technically, what we have right now is one PO. We have a bunch of little pieces. We're basically kind of just doing the setup of the basic herbs. We don't have any quantity. We don't owe anybody anything. We are creating placeholders. Okay. Now what we have is we have all of the pieces that we need to eventually kind of create this little recipe, if you will, so we can actually kind of create the final product.